Hi everyone, today's video is a drugstore nail polish review. I've got 5 drugstore nail polishes that I put to the test and I'm going to share my thoughts with you. One thing I did want to mention is that for all of the polishes, I didn't do anything differently than I normally do in terms of protecting my nails. So I was still cleaning, washing dishes, cleaning bathrooms. So I also don't wear gloves when I'm doing these things. So my nails were exposed to water and to cleaning products. I did use a base coat and a top coat with each of the polishes. The base coat I used is the Finger Paints base coat, and this is available at Sally Beauty Supply. And the top coat I used is Nicole by OPI High Shine Top Coat Plus. This is available at Walmart and Target. In terms of drying time, I can't say that one dried faster than the other, just because the way I apply my polish is typically at bedtime. So I will polish my nails, I'll wait a few minutes, and then I'll go to bed. And I just try to keep my hands flat so that I'm not touching anything, and then they'll dry overnight. In terms of removal, I use pure acetone to remove any nail polish I wear. So I didn't find that any one was more difficult than the other to remove. I'm going to work my way through the polishes, starting with my least favorite and ending with my favorite. This is the Sally Hansen Insta-Dri Fast Dry Nail Color in the shade Pink Blink. I was excited about this color because I've been looking for something in this type of shade, a sort of pink milky shade, and I've had great experience with Sally Hansen polishes in the past. However, this polish was my least favorite. It applied very streaky. It did take 2 coats to get it somewhat opaque, and I think it could have even taken a 3rd coat, but I just think 3 coats of nail polish, plus a base coat and a top coat is just too much. I do like the brush. It's a little bit larger and I find that's easier to work with. Unless you have very small fingernails, then you might not like something that has a larger brush. But what I didn't like is I find that the handle is a little bit too long, so you don't have as much control. I find that if the handle is a little bit shorter, you're closer to the nail. I find it's just a little bit easier to control. So I think that also led to how the polish applied and how it looked. I did notice chipping after 2 days. So overall, I didn't like this polish. I wouldn't purchase one of the Insta-Dri polishes again, just because, the brush handle, the formula, it's kind of streaky, the chipping, there's better polishes out there. This is the Maybelline Color Show in the shade Lust for Lilac. Now this applied a little bit streaky and, in my husband's words, a little bit chunky, but I found that it did dry nicely. So my suggestion would just be to make sure you get an even application, take your time, try not to use too many brush strokes, and you should be fine. Now in terms of staying power, it didn't chip until day 4, so I thought that was pretty good. The brush is a little bit smaller and thinner, so again, not my favorite, but because it is a regular size, shorter handle, it was fine. This is L'Oreal's Nail Color in the shade Wishful Pinky. Now this shade is quite sheer. I expected it to be a little bit more opaque. In hindsight, I wish I picked up something that was a little bit darker or a little bit more vibrant, but it was still a nice polish. It applied nicely. It wasn't streaky, it wasn't watery. I gave this one actually 3 coats, just to see how much color I could get out of it. But the brush, it's a little bit smaller than I prefer, but it was fine to work with, and the brush handle being shorter compared to the Insta-Dri, you have more control, it's easier to work with. I noticed chipping on day 4 with this polish. Overall, I think it's an okay polish. The application was fine, but I think what makes it one of my lesser favorites is the price. It was the priciest out of the bunch, and I would expect a little bit more at this price point. Next is Essence's Color and Go in the shade Off to Miami. Considering the price of this nail polish, I thought it performed very well. It applied close to opaque with 1 coat, so I think if I had just been a little bit more heavy-handed with that 1 coat, I could have gotten away with just 1 coat and then applied my top coat. I do like the brush. It's a nice wider brush. And I find that actually this handle is quite comfortable. It's pretty short, so it gives you a lot of control, and I find it's pretty comfortable for my hand. I didn't notice any chipping until day 4 with this polish. Overall, I think it's a great polish at a great price. This is Rimmel's 60-second nail polish in the shade Pink Abou. This polish cleans to dry in 60 seconds and that you only need 1 coat. I found that it applied pretty close to opaque with one coat. Had I been a bit more generous with the application, I think it would have been fine with just one coat. I did like the brush. It is a little bit of the larger brush, and I did like the handle length. I found it was easy to work with and I had enough control. Now, chipping was on day 4, so it lasted 4 days before chipping. I like this slightly better than the Essence polish just because I found the formula to be just a tad bit thinner, not thin at all, but just a little bit easier to work with than the Essence. The Essence is still an excellent nail polish, especially at the price point, but I found the Rimmel was just that tad bit easier to work with. So overall, the Rimmel and the Essence performed very well in terms of the formula, how long they lasted, the brush, the application. The Rimmel is, I find for me, worked just a little bit better just because the formula, like I said, was just a tiny bit thinner than the Essence. But at the price point, the Essence is a great option, a great value. So if you are in the market for some nail polish, I definitely recommend the Rimmel or the Essence. The idea for this video came about because I was asked what some of my favorite nail polishes are, and I had a look and then I realized that the 2 that are my favorites are actually no longer available, and so I didn't really want to share those with people in case they wanted to pick them up. They're not available anymore. So I thought, you know what, I haven't bought nail polish in a really long time. Let me go get some new nail polish and actually put them to the test. So I did still want to show you what my favorites are. One is the Rimmel Lycra Pro Professional Finish Up to 10-Day Wear nail polish in the shade Barely There. I like this. I like both the color and the polish itself. The color because it's just a nude color with a little bit of shimmer. So if I'm not sure what color I want to wear, I'll go with this one just because it's very simple. It'll match with any outfit, any look. And I do like the brush and the formula. It applies very nicely. Sometimes with this one, I just one coat just to get, you know, a little bit of color on the nails, and that's it. I wouldn't say that it wears for 10 days, but I can get 4 to 5 days without chipping from this polish. My next favorite is from Quo by Orly, and it's in the shade Soft Spot. This is a mini. It actually came in a set with 18 mini nail polishes. I got this as a gift a couple years ago, and so that's why I think this is no longer available, the set or just this shade. And it's a clear polish with a hint of pink. So this is another polish when I'm not sure what I want to wear on my nails, or I don't really want any color, but I don't want to have them bare. I want to have something on them. This gives a little bit of shine with just a hint of kind of a healthy pink glow. So that's why I like this. It is a mini, so the brush is quite small, but I can work with it. I find it applies nicely and it lasts about 3 to 4 days before I notice any chipping. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.